Update: while I was away for work, my parents sold my car to fund a vacation and buy expensive gifts for my golden child sister, claiming she needed self-care after her divorce. I laughed in their faces and told them what's coming is unavoidable now. She told me that she had decided to go no contact with me. If you guys might remember, in my original post, I had mentioned that neither of us decided that we were going to go no contact, it just happened organically. So I don't know where that came from. Because of my ungrateful behavior, apparently her logic is going to blow your mind, believe that back then I got a really high-paying job because of her. My sister and I work in the same field, but even then, I was really shocked by that claim that she made on the phone because I could not remember anything like that happening. I was very lost, and then she started explaining, and you know what, just hold on, guys, her logic is going to blow your mind as well. Apparently, she believed that she was the one who was responsible for me getting that really great job back then because she had decided to move away with her husband and had withdrawn her application a couple of days after she had applied, after which I got selected. Eventually, in what universe does that make her responsible for getting me the job? I will never know. Anyway, she believed that she was owed a thank you after she decided to move away and left the job to me. When I did not thank her for anything, she decided that she was never going to speak to me again until I acknowledged what she had done for me, which never ended up happening. So, we didn't speak for the past couple of years. I was so confused because I didn't even know what she was playing at, trying to make it seem like I was ungrateful when I didn't even know about any of these expectations that she had for me. And even if I had known, I wouldn't have thanked her because they were completely unreasonable. I told her off instantly, and I said that she was in no way responsible for me getting the job. I'm just as qualified as her, and I was just a bit younger at the time. But even then, I wanted her to leave me alone. I'm pretty sure I got the job because of my own hard work and perseverance and not because she opted out. I told her that I didn't care if she thought that I was ungrateful, I just wanted her to leave me alone. I said that I was going to make sure that my parents returned the car to me in perfect condition. If she thought that it was unfair on my part, tough, because I was not going to change my mind. She was a fool to think that she could call me, say such stupid things to me, and then try to make me feel differently about this situation. I also told her that obviously she would never find any results in our parents because she had always been treated like a princess, and I had been treated like I was just a normal kid. Even though I had never resented any of them for this, it was about time that I started acknowledging it. Then I hung up. I blocked her, and now we are in no contact permanently. I'm making sure of that. After the phone call, I discussed things with Tyler, and we're not sure if our parents put her up to this, but if they did, they just made things worse for themselves. Anyway, it has been an incredibly long day and it's almost 1 a.m. now. We have another long day ahead of us tomorrow as well, so I'm just going to try and get some rest. It was very important for me to vent out my feelings here because even though I did speak to Tyler about it, I just wanted to talk about it some more and get it completely out of my system. That's why this was such a long update. Thanks for sticking by until the end, it means a lot to me. For the ones who read it all the way through, see you guys soon. I'll keep you guys updated on what happens next, and hopefully, my parents won't put up much of a fight anymore after this because I'm really sick of everything, and I just want to go home to my normal life now. Update 3. Hi, so it's around noon right now, and as it appears, Tyler and I might not have to go to court at all because this morning, my parents showed up at the hotel and started crying, trying to get us to stop whatever it is that we were planning on doing. When we got a phone call from the front desk this morning, I was confused about whether I should let them up or not. But Tyler said that maybe we should talk to them because they might have changed their minds after last night. So, we let them up, and when they were in our room, they started apologizing profusely, saying that they had thought things over after last night and they really didn't want any trouble. They would really appreciate it if we could settle this out of court. They told me that they had contacted the man who had purchased the car from them and were talking to him, trying to convince him to come back. Apparently, he was ready to go on a cross-country road trip, but I personally think he might have been planning to run away because I can't think of anybody in their right mind who would have been willing to buy a car that they didn't even have the title to. This was apparently coming at a really inconvenient time for him, but they were able to manage to convince him somehow, promising him that they would return $2,000 more than the amount that they had sold the car for. So, we might be getting Tyler's car back after all, and we are really happy about it because we are relieved that we don't have to stay here for long since the guy who bought the car will be showing up at my parents' place in a couple of days to return the car. Getting involved with the car here would mean staying here for several days, and we didn't want that, so this is a better option, to be honest. My parents also tried to apologize to me for their behavior and said that they had realized how wrong they had been, but I told them that it was completely unnecessary because no matter what they said at this point, I had made up my mind, and I was going to cut them off as soon as I went back home. They seemed a bit unhappy about that and said that they really wanted to make it up to me, but I told them that my decision was final and I really didn't want to speak to them because this had been a terrible experience for me. They had completely humiliated me in front of my boyfriend the day before and had been insufferable since they sold the car without my consent. So, I really didn't want anything to do with them after this. They looked very upset while they were leaving, But at least this nightmare is going to be over now, and Tyler and I can finally go back home. Update 4. Hello, so a couple of weeks have passed, and we got the car back. It was in the same condition that we had kept it in, so thankfully my parents didn't have to pay any damages. They found out about the car just in the nick of time because if the guy had taken it on the cross-country road trip, things would have been much different. Anyway, my parents drove the car down to our place and tried to speak to us to apologize to me once again and get me to talk to them. But I told them that now that the car had been delivered, we had nothing more to talk about. They were really desperate too, and I could tell that they really wanted to continue being a part of my life because I don't think that they're getting any grandchildren from my sister anytime soon. But Tyler and I made it very clear that we did not want them loitering around our house and made them leave by threatening to call the cops on them when they said that they were going to stand around until I forgave them and said that I would keep in touch as I had previously. It was their own rotten behavior that had changed everything for us, and they needed to realize and acknowledge that until they did so, nothing would ever change. Anyway, that was 2 weeks ago, and recently Tyler proposed to me. We are hosting an engagement party at our place this weekend. Invitations have already been sent out, and I have heard from a couple of relatives that my parents and my sister are very upset that they did not receive one since they thought that at least something as big as this would make me reconsider our situation, and I would extend a hand of peace towards them to make things right again. I would say it was a pretty unrealistic expectation to have from me because none of them had been kind to me. Tyler and I were on the same page about whether we wanted them at our party or not. We didn't. It's a really important day for us, and if they can't be nice to me, they don't deserve to be around me. Besides, even if I thought about making things right with them and inviting them, then the day would become entirely about us and our family drama and not about our engagement. So, we decided to steer clear of that, and they kind of shot themselves in the foot by talking about this to our relatives because they definitely didn't have any nice things to say about me. They thought that I was being bratty and kind of silly by blowing things out of proportion. Well, so maybe I'll just stay this way and keep my distance from them, and then they won't have to deal with my brattiness anymore.